Many of you know that we just recently had a break-in at our home. And because of that, it was a big mindset change for us. And I really appreciate all the support from so many people. We had so many comments. In fact, I have so many companies that are sending gear that we lost, and it's just been really phenomenal. In fact, I'm going to be doing a video about that specifically coming up, but it was really great to have so much support. And one thing though that was really kind of alarming was how many people had experienced similar things, even much worse. And you know, it's just an epidemic. I mean, the world has gone crazy, and we've had a number of things to happen even since then, which I'm not going to get into all the details, but even this past Saturday we had some guys on our property trying to steal some metal that we had set aside that we were taking to a scrapyard. And there were 3 men, and we actually got into it with these guys. I mean, they just would refuse to leave. And so, of course, you know, we handled it and they did leave. But, you know, the thing is, there's so many people that have no respect for your property, for you, for your personal injuries even. They don't care. And so we need to be prepared, not only for ourselves, but also for our families. And so I want to go through some things that we've done since all this has happened, and some things that I do on a personal level, just to help you to be better prepared, not only for robberies and break-ins, but also just in safety in general. And for those of you who are wondering what happened to my nose, I'll just put it this way. Don't store an AR-15 upper on top of a box that you need in a loft and then pull it down. Man, it'll light you up. I'm right under the window which was broken into. And having a good security system and making sure your doors are locked, your windows are locked, making sure that your valuables are not laying around. Guys, I've been notorious for leaving firearms around in hidden places, thinking that if I needed to get to them, I could. And you know what? When I'm at home, I still do that. But when I'm away, everything goes in the gun safe. Everything's locked down. The security system is turned on. Having a security system and also advertising that you have a security system can be a great deterrent. And not only putting a sign in the yard around your house, but also in windows. Also having an app on your phone where you can monitor your home when you're away. I can even set my alarm if I forget, and I can check and see if it is set or not. With technology today, and really it's not that expensive to be able to get a state-of-the-art system very reasonably. Putting up no trespassing signs around your property. Now I know this is a favorite sign by many, but you need to get the message out that they really should just move along to somebody else. It's an easier target. And now I've got stickers. Of course, advertising that you have a firearm can be a deterrent, and it also can be a target. Light is your #1 security tool, so having a really good flashlight is really critical for good security. Having motion detector lights, and just having a well-lit area around your house. You know, having dogs is also a good deterrent. Having your firearms secured, there's nothing better than a good gun safe. And I'm not talking about one of these stack-on safes. That's just to keep the good guys out, or your kids out. To really stop thieves, you need a really good safe. It's not only good for burglary, but it's also a good fire safe. It's one big enough to put your valuables in here, whether it's your wife's jewelry, whether it's important documents. Of course, firearms are a huge target for thieves. Now there are 2 additions that I want to just mention. I haven't done it yet. In fact, we're getting ready to install a camera system. You can do that through your security system, or there are a lot of systems out on the market, and you can also access them on your phone. And also there are motion detectors that you can put in your driveway. You can put it on your mailbox to be alerted when anybody comes into your driveway or onto your property. Guys, not only are there break-ins when you're not at home, but there's also home invasions. There's this knockout game that's crazy. There are flash mobs, underprivileged youth that hang around downtown areas that get into massive fights and cause a lot of crime and wreak havoc. And it's really important that you're prepared. No matter where I am, I'm always armed. Having the right firearm and the right holster system, just like this little Glock 26 and this G-Code Incog holster. It's really important to have something that you will wear, that you can carry, and that you can conceal. You need to be armed. Now, of course, no matter what firearm you have, training is really important. And you need to know your holster system, you need to know your rifle, you need to know about how to use it in a defensive situation. The more you use it and the more you become familiar with it, the better you're going to be in a tough situation. Fire!
Go ahead, square off on the target, and we're going to pie out. high out, and gauge the target and come right back in. Okay? 3.
Fight!
When my buddy and I approached those 3 guys taking that scrap metal, all I had was a Glock 26 with a 10-round magazine, no extra magazine. He had a pocket knife. That's all we had. We weren't looking for trouble. That's why it's really important to be prepared. Carry that extra magazine. And if you need to, have something that you can get to be able to defend yourself if needed. Having a go bag with your rifle mags and your pistol mags. Just did a review on this US Grunt Gear mag bag. 10 mags in the front, pistol mags, you can put ammo in it. Having something that if you need to grab it at a moment's notice, you'll be ready. You're not fumbling around loading magazines. You're not looking for magazines. Everything is together. Everything's ready. It's portable. You can throw it over your shoulder. You can take it in your vehicle. Of course, check out the video of the intruder defense bag, especially if you're at home for a home invasion. Having something right there with your flashlight, your knife, and I'll have the video annotated right here for you to check out. Number 3 is mindset. Not paranoid. Not jittery, but just being prepared. I'm going to tell you, if you're prepared, it's going to bring that level way down. And the big key to that is situational awareness, knowing what's happening. You know, when I walked in my house, I saw the window busted, I immediately realized that there was a break-in and that people could still be in the house. And so I was prepared, I was ready, I was able to draw my gun and defend myself if I needed to. It's like the knockout game. One of the reasons why that is so effective with these youth is that people are completely oblivious to their surroundings. You can't sit around and text while you're walking through a parking lot or you're standing on a corner being completely oblivious to what's going on around you. You need to have that situational awareness at all times. Well, you know, I had a guy the other day to say, man, he goes, I'm not really worried about me. I mean, if something happens to me, that's okay. I'm worried about my wife and kids. But just realize that if something happens to you, that happens to your wife and kids. You're the protector, you're the provider. Or if you're a woman, especially a single mother, you have that responsibility on you. So while we will protect our kids first and we will give our life for our families, you being still in the picture is key to their survival. Now you need to know your laws, and state and regional laws differ, even local laws, and you need to make sure that you stay within the law. Because if you're faced with a situation, you need to know ahead of time what you can do and what you can't do. Sometimes inaction is worse than action. But on the transverse, same thing. So you've always got to use really good judgment. Keep a cool head. And one of the things about mindset is you're able to stop and think it through before it ever happens and decide, you know what, I'm going to take action if this situation occurs. You know, having resources about your local laws, here's South Carolina gun law, have Traveler's Guide, of course, the ultimate law right here. And the internet is full of resources to be able to find out about your local laws, even municipal laws. So make sure you do your research. I'll never forget what Verfau said about the economic collapse that happened down in Argentina. Law enforcement will not be there to save you, but they sure as heck will be there to arrest you. So you need to make sure that you stay within the law. But to me, one of the most important issues that really supersedes everything else is to stand in the gap. You need to be a man, you need to stand up for what's right, and you need to be willing to take action. What's life if we're not willing to stand for the oppressed? You know, our military, that's one of their mottos, is to stand for the oppressed and to stand against the aggressor. Our military is just we the people. That mirrors what we believe as citizens. Guys, we need to make sure that we retain the rights as American citizens to be able to defend ourselves and our families. And any kind of gun legislation or any kind of self-defense laws that come about, you need to stand up for it, and you need to stand in the gap for that as well. Be politically minded, because guys, if they take it away, then we're going to be victims and we will never be able to stand like we should. Now, many have asked why I took down the initial break-in video, and that was really at the request of my wife. She just really felt uncomfortable having our home exposed to the whole world, and you know, really I agreed with her wholeheartedly. But the big reason that I wanted to do that was to help you guys get motivated to take your own security measures. And a lot of guys left comments down in the descriptions about, hey, I'm going home right now, I'm going to secure my firearms, I'm going to secure my valuables, and get a security system, get a safe, whatever it is that you were doing. And to me, it was worth it for that. Be armed, be prepared, know the law, and make good judgment decisions. Guys, again, we got to stand in the gap, And this also includes ladies. If you're the one that has to defend, you know, the mama bear is the toughest one out in the woods. The responsibility is on us to defend ourselves and our families. When seconds count, the police are only 35 minutes away. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic.